Have you ever followed someone else's advice to the letter, only to find yourself frustrated, confused, or completely lost? You did everything right, listened to all the so-called experts, avoided mistakes like the plague, and still ended up unsatisfied. That's not just coincidence. That's the consequence of walking someone else's path. Because as Fyodor Dostoevsky wrote, to go wrong in one's own way is better than to go right in someone else's. What sounds like poetic rebellion is actually a profound truth. Our greatest growth often comes not from avoiding mistakes, but from making our own. We live in a world obsessed with shortcuts, life hacks, influencers telling us exactly what to do. It's tempting. Why reinvent the wheel when someone already has the answer? But here's the twist. Even when you follow someone else's directions, you're still choosing to trust them based on your own judgment. Which means, ironically, you're never really outsourcing your decision-making. You're just pretending to. Let's take a closer look. Imagine you're trying to get to a grocery store in a city you've never been to. A stranger gives you directions. If they're right, great. You get there quickly. But if they're wrong, you're lost. Either way, the decision to trust them was yours. Even choosing to follow proven advice is a reflection of your own beliefs, biases, and past experiences. So in the end, you're never escaping the responsibility of your own knowledge. You're just navigating with a borrowed compass. And that's where it gets tricky. Because we love the illusion of certainty, we cling to past patterns, familiar voices, and even outdated beliefs just to avoid the discomfort of being wrong. But here's the thing. You can't grow unless you're willing to challenge your own thinking. Let's say you've only ever seen red apples. All your life, nothing but red. Naturally, you assume all apples are red. But one day you stumble upon a green one. That green apple isn't just a fruit. It's an anomaly, a disruption to your worldview. Now you have a choice. Do you accept that apples come in more colors than you thought? Or do you dismiss it as a fluke, a fake, or worse, deny it ever existed? Most of us want to believe we'd accept the truth, especially when it's something simple like apples. But what happens when the anomaly isn't harmless? What if it's something personal, like discovering your long-term partner may have been unfaithful? Suddenly, facing the truth becomes a lot more painful. We hesitate. We rationalize. We avoid. Because admitting we were wrong means revisiting all the beliefs we built around that person, and by extension, around ourselves. And that's what makes walking your own path so difficult, but also so necessary. You will make mistakes. You will go the wrong way sometimes. But those mistakes are yours. They're not borrowed. They weren't inherited. They weren't handed to you in a YouTube tutorial or a 10-step blog post. They came from your own experience. And that means they're valuable. Because here's the deeper truth. Growth isn't just about getting things right. It's about updating your knowledge when you get things wrong. And that only happens when you're open to the possibility that your current beliefs might be incomplete, outdated, or flat out false. The more you resist this, the more stagnant your thinking becomes. The more open you are to being wrong, the more flexible and resilient your mind becomes. Let's go back to Dostoevsky. When he says, to go wrong in one's own way is better than to go right in someone else's, he's not celebrating failure. He's celebrating ownership. He's saying it's better to live from your own understanding, even if it's flawed, because that's the only way your understanding can evolve. If you always follow someone else's route, you may never get lost, but you'll also never discover anything new. That's why the real challenge in life isn't figuring out who to trust. It's not even about making the right choices. It's about recognizing that at every step, you are choosing. You are deciding which voices to listen to, which beliefs to hold, and which paths to take. Even passivity is a choice. And once you accept that responsibility, once you stop blaming others for where you are, something incredible happens. You become free. Free to learn, free to fail, free to change. Because now, even your mistakes have meaning. They're not wasted. They're not shameful. They're stepping stones, each one sharpening your mind and deepening your self-awareness. So walk your path. Make your own mistakes. Talk your own nonsense. As Dostoevsky cheekily puts it, just make sure it's your nonsense. Because the only thing worse than being wrong is never being wrong for yourself. If you found this video meaningful and interesting, drop a comment below and share your experience. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might find this content useful. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.